Welcome everybody to Sketchy's Contract. I was about to sit down and play it myself, and then I thought, why don't I just film the chaos as well? This is a game very similar to another game that you all have seen me play. Good old Lethal Company, but this is better in certain ways, and then not as good in other ways. And so we'll take a look at those things. I can't see the audio capture because I'm on one screen now, so I'm just kind of guesstimating with how the game audio is going to deal with my own audio. So I'm going on the lower side. Just let me know if that is an issue. So we're going to jump into the ship first. I'm starting a new profile. We're going to grab this Flamingo. See, already off to a better start. We actually get a weapon for free. We've got several different planets to choose from here. The only one that I've experienced so far is this Orkun with vast oceans and bioluminescent life forms. That's just fancy jargon for glow in the dark. We're going to start with Port Coral. That is where I would hope everybody would start. I've done Port Lumen maybe 5 to 10 runs, and Treasure Island probably 2 or 3. But most of them have been in Port Coral. This is just sort of an overview look at the game. I'm not going to try to progress past the first contract. So let's jump into it. Oh, I gotta get out of the seat. There we go. Okay. So, right off the bat, very, very different, right? You've got your weapon. You've got repairing weapons. I don't know what that is. I think it's when you order something here. You've got a little health area over there. You see some chests over there. We'll deal with that later. You see that building over there. We'll deal with that later. Let's just go into the water. This is how you start off. Sketchy Contract, I believe, is $8 on Steam, around the same price as the company. I think both games are worth the buy. I think both of them favor different play styles, and both of them fit. The advantage you're going to have with the company versus, we're going to avoid that big fish, versus this game is you're going to have mods. This game does not have any, right? So you just get the vanilla, you just get that vanilla experience. With League of the Company, you can mod the heck out of it, which is what we're going to be taking a look at over the next, hopefully, month or two. I've been downloading a lot of custom moons. So, I don't see a whole lot that we can get to out here. I'm trying to avoid bigger enemies that I know that we can't handle yet. That's the other thing. This game doesn't hold punches. If you're not careful, you will die in the very first area. Okay, so I actually don't see much out here. So we're going to go into the facility. And so this is where the similarity between the two games really shows. So now we're inside. You can still see outside. And we're kind of just... Oh, we already are getting attacked. Look at that. So this is one of the many little creatures that can attack you. We'll read up some information later. That is a mimic. Okay. I didn't know that they were going to spawn that early. I didn't think that mimics just show up at the beginning. I went ahead and let myself die there because there's no reason not to. We don't have anything, right? So we're going to expand on the suit level and the credits a little bit later. Let's just focus on the runs for right now. So quickest first run I've ever had. In a very negative way. But let's see. There's been a couple updates since I last played. That could have been one of them. Just an increase in difficulty. Because before it, that would have never happened. Enemies don't run up to you right as you enter. That's kind of the key point. Upon first entry, you're usually okay. You can at least look around, get your bearings. I had no opportunity for it there. Oh, fun thing with these chests, right? Let's go find a different one. I opened that one too early. So when you scan with the same button, the right button on your mouse. It's going to show up as access crate. If any of that is misspelled, it's not a real crate. Can you guys go and guess what it would end up being? But I'll reveal in a couple seconds. Because I just think that's a brilliant detail. As someone who's been sitting here playing D&D for God knows how long, I think it's a brilliant detail. Those stashes were not there earlier or before either. We already have a full load of stuff. So, key point, in the company, you can get a mod to save all of your items upon death. This game does not have that. Right? Pros and cons of each game. I still say get both. That is always my recommendation when working with this content, is that both of them are good enough games that you will enjoy both. If you enjoy one, you're going to love the other one. It's just the way that my brain views this stuff. I can play these games all day. I never get tired of this. So as on the last run, there is one of those big fish over here. 40 damage per attack, and we can't even take him with us, so there's no point in attacking him. We're going to try to go back into the facility again. I know that our first attempt was foiled very, very quickly. So we're going to be a lot more careful. I thought I could just kind of mosey on in, but it's very apparent that we can't. While you're playing, you're going to want to be listening out, because you can usually hear things before they get to you. That's why I had to pause there. I can hear something scuttling around, but I can't quite tell what it is. There will usually also be things. There it is. Loot Mimic. So you can tell access crit is not the right way to spell crate. For those of you who are dyslexic, it's just not how you spell it. We can all agree on that. There's also just really cool creatures. Like that one, for example, that doesn't attack you. That's just there. That's just the environment. So it's also much more filled with life than Lethal Company is, which is to be expected, right? Lethal Company is sort of a post-apocalyptic, everything's gone wrong kind of situation. And this is not really that. This I sort of look at as more of, you've discovered kind of a new planet almost that hasn't been inhabited by humans yet. Obviously, that's not canon, right? That's not coming from the developer. That's just imagination on that one. So another big fish out there. I was going to use this door, but since that guy's there, we're just going to run back this way. Already off to a better start. And it doesn't look like I've attracted a lot of attention from really anything. So good progress. Obviously, this game is more fun with more people, as goes with these kinds of games. I don't mind playing myself. That's not supposed to be there. Usually these guys are outside. I'm going to actually take a screenshot of that. Usually they don't swim right through the facility like that. I'm going to take a screenshot of that and share it later. I'm actually going to drop this, because this is an access crate that's not a fake one. So there's another item in here. I just want to take it. These flamingo staff things are free. You can get as many as you want. So strategically, it makes sense to just drop it if you need to take a full load. We'll look at different items and upgrades you can buy later as well. Hopefully, I will film, I would think, at least 2 or 3 of these, just to kind of show all the basics. It's got a heavier learning curve than Lethal Company, that's for sure. You do need to learn more about how it works in order to fully enjoy it. Whereas Lethal Company, you can kind of just run around and, do whatever. Throw a couple mods on there and you face no repercussions. This game has the repercussions. So we're already at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. We are going to go back into the facility again and see if we can't get anything else before we have to leave. Another fun function, Lethal Company runs end at midnight in-game. In this one, you can go later. You have the option to go, I think, all the way until 7 a.m.? I haven't been brave enough to do that yet. Myself and the friends I play with, quick second, If you have friends to play this with, definitely do, and be thankful for that, right? Just quick shout out there. Oh, and see that's the mimic crate. There you go. It does a significant amount of damage, so you don't want to have them come after you if you can avoid it. What was I saying? Oh, friends of mine and I that I've played with so far, we have not stayed past midnight. I think there was one time where we discussed it, but I think one of us had died, so it didn't make sense if only 2 people could experience it. So it's a very different game than Leave the Company. I just compare it to it because that's my frame of reference. But it's different enough that if you've played it for, hours and hours and hours, like I have, then it's still different enough to where it feels like a unique experience. Okay, we're going to actually head back now because if we got hit by that mimic again, for example, that would be the end for our little expedition. We're going to take this back. We don't litter here at Just Josh and 117 Productions. We're against littering, even on a fictional water moon. Almost lost my bearings for half a second. There's the ship. But again, right? You die, you lose everything. I'm pretty sure that's still how it works, and that's not being changed. So we just gotta be careful. Now I got 2. One's through the ceiling. That makes sense. We got a good amount of stuff now, actually. Here, let me try to rearrange this just slightly, just for aesthetic purposes mainly. There we go. You've got many shelves, so you can spread the stuff out, but I figure, why not? Take a couple seconds to make it look nice. So much, much better than the first one. Much, much better. And also, you could just keep going. I mean, I enjoy this gameplay loop, personally. I don't know why I like it so much. I think part of it is games like Leave the Company and Sketchy Contract I never played, right? Not even just from a horror aspect, but these kinds of things of, diving in, gathering scrap or whatever you want to call it. It's a different niche that I've really come to enjoy. And of course, it spawned more clones that are trying to jump on the same success train. And I believe, yes, both games are still being developed, of course. So you're always going to have more updates and new content. Oh! Don't do that. So that doll is named Elizabeth. If you hold on to it too long, it just straight up kills you. There are ways to get it safely to the ship, none of which I have successfully accomplished yet. So whenever I run into it, I just drop it and forget it exists. I remember, I think it was our very first run. I picked it up, didn't know what it was. It started giggling, and then I dropped it, and then about 15 seconds later, I was dead. So it's kind of, drawing comparisons, like the Ghost Girl from Leave the Company, right? Except if you drop it quickly enough, no effect. I'm just being careful because I don't want to get jumped like we did the first run. It was very interesting to see that. I never had both a mimic, not a mimic, I guess it's a mimic. Oh, that might be why the game clarifies this as a crate mimic as opposed to just a regular one. Huh. Just put 2 and 2 together on the fly, live here in the studio today. But I never had that happen before. Ooh, okay, we found this. 7B9. I'm glad we found this in this first one because we can actually use that. 7B9. I'm going to say that at least one more time just so I remember it. If you want, actually, memory devices, go ahead and comment what the code is. That'll help me remember so we know to enter it in. I felt like Steve from Blue's Clues for half a second. I was like, go ahead and do this. Interact. I do love when the items like phase through each other like that. It's just a funny thing. Okay, 7B9. So you can actually enter that into the computer. Let's see, you need level, and that's just level 1, and then the code. I believe it has to be caps, but someone in the comments can confirm that for sure. So level 1 security place is actually going to be accessed using this boat. It's that building over there. Before I discovered this boat, I just straight up tried to swim over there. And I was like, there's no way this is how you're supposed to do it. But that's how I tried to do it. This is a slightly more difficult area. So enemies that we run into here, we are not going to fight. We're just going to straight up retreat from. I believe there are stronger chest mimics, for example. Okay, so we have the teleporter here now. We are supposed to find the teleporter generator somewhere in the area, and that'll allow us to teleport to and from the starting area. I have not confirmed whether that works in subsequent runs. So, for example, if I got it in this run, could I use it in a future one? I don't, without getting this new security code. I don't know, so that is yet to be determined on that. So you'll notice this color is red. The first ones were orange. As far as the chest mimics, they do more damage. They are stronger. Crawler, you guys recognize that from the first area. We're just not engaging though. There'll still be these normal X. Oh! Okay, so unfortunately that one now blocks our progress that way, so we gotta come back this way. Let's peek outside. Let's do that. So that, I believe, is a hatchling. Yep. Oh! Remember the bigger enemies I was talking about? That's them. Oh, and it's coming in with us. Okay. The most important thing in this game, and this goes for Lethal Company as well, when stuff goes wrong, because it inevitably will go wrong, you just don't panic. Oh, I'm still dead. Okay, that's fine. But we got back to the ship. The camera is still going with the ship. Our body is gone. But don't panic, right? I got all the way to the boat. But yeah, so those are the big enemies that I was talking about. So when you go after a baby, that little hatchling, mom will show up. Okay, so we still... Oh, we kept some of our items. Why did we keep some of them? That's interesting. Okay. So we don't have enough for quota. Oh, we have this insurance amount. Interesting. Okay. So we can go ahead and look at the suit levels and the credits. So differences between this game and Lethal Company. You're able to upgrade your character. In this case, I'll give myself more health. And the credits let you buy items. I don't think I can buy them directly from the ship. No, so we'd have to go back to Sketchy's in order to do that. Head to Sketchy's. So unfortunately, our first run through is not successful. But that's okay. It's a learning experience, right? Just like Lethal Company was. But yeah, so let's go down and we can look at must finalize contract. Oh, I have to open the ship door. I'm used to that just opening by itself. There we go. So I'll show you all where the drop-off point is. I won't spoil what happens when you don't fulfill the contract. So we'll be able to keep that a surprise. But you just drop items in the box here, and sometimes they'll stack up, and it's really funny. Alright, so let's go look over at this shop. We got a boombox that heals you. That is probably my favorite so far. Pickaxe. We didn't see any in there, but you can get ores, and those help as far as meeting the requirement. Shovel you can use for digging. Hedge knives you can use to cut things. Harvest plant life. Pulse rifle. This is a great weapon as well. Fighting that big crab, for example, we could have done it if we had this. Shrink ray. Remember that big fish from earlier? Use that to shrink it. Have not used that yet. Have not used that yet. Have not used that yet. And have not used that yet. So I wanted to make sure I avoided commenting on things that I haven't used yet. The tools, the pickaxe, shovel, and hedge knife are very useful. And we're actually going to go through and see what happens when you don't successfully finalize the contract, because I want to see what happens after that. So we're going to finalize, and you're all able to vote. We failed this one, so we're actually placed in the box, and we're fed to the thing that we're feeding to. So instead of getting kicked out of the ship, you're fed to whatever's in here. So kind of terrifying, but it's okay. The thing I'm looking for is, do we lose contract or suit levels? Or sorry, credits. We didn't lose the suit level. We're back to recruit. That's fine. I can ignore that. We have our credits, and we might have our suit level as well. Looks like we do. Yes. Okay. Prior to this, we lost percentages of both. At the very beginning, we lost all of both. So, thanks you all for joining me on this first part of looking at Sketchy's contract. We'll look at the other moons, hopefully, as well as show off more of the game. This was just sort of a first look that I wanted to sit down and hash out. Obviously, check out other videos on the channel, and we will see you all later.